I can't escape. I just keep trying to move away and they keep pulling me back in. Funko. I can't lie, these ones are freaking sick. Okay, so I am going to be showing you guys some new Funko Pops that I picked up. Welcome home, Red Pack. Marcus here. Welcome to Comfort Cartoons. I know I keep saying I'm done with the Funko Pop, but I particularly mean the ones where they make multiple variations of like the same character. These are all brand new characters that I've never had Pops before, so I had to get them, okay? And they're pretty magnificent. So, and some of these Funko Pops, they don't have any other merch like at all that exists. So this is some of the first stuff ever. We are gonna cover some unbelievably nostalgic 2000s and 90s cartoon character Funko Pops that recently came out. I can't wait to see them in the flesh. Some of them I did see the pictures online. I just was overflowed with nostalgic glee. So let's take a look here and see what we got. There is a level of embarrassment that I have right now because I do say all the time like, oh, I think I'm not gonna get them. I keep saying I'm not gonna get any unless they're the Nickelodeon ones. And here we are. So here we are. Let's see what we got here. The first ones are Nickelodeon, okay? So stop commenting, oh, you'll never be out, Marcus. You're never gonna get out the cult that is Funko. Alright? I'm trying, alright? But let's see what we got here. These ones are Nickelodeon, I believe. Let's see. Yes. So they did do a recent Nickelodeon Jimmy Neutron. It came with Jimmy Neutron, Auto Rocket, a few other ones. Oh man, don't even get me started on the Fairly Odd Parents ones we opened up recently. They're so good. They're so freaking good. With the Fairly Odd Parents one, we got a lot of different characters, but with Jimmy, we only got Jimmy. But they did release some other characters, so let's take a look. Let's start with this one here, and that is my boy, Carl Weezer. You put your mom in the other room, you know, make sure you're not in the same room as your mom, especially if your name's Jimmy, because Carl's here to steal your mama.
Oh, Carl, this is so sweet.
Thanks. I sprayed it with my dad's cologne.
He is so cute. Like, Carl as a character is like kind of, you know, he's a little chunky guy. He's kind of cute. All of the Jimmy Neutron characters, they are like an older, like CGI style, so they're not the cutest characters.
And they say I'm the weird one.
But you cannot tell me that this little Funko version of Carl is not absolutely adorable. His glasses look so cool. And it actually works. They didn't put the lenses in his glasses, because we saw Tootie recently and she did have like glass, like our, you know, plastic vinyl in her glasses. But I think that Carl's, it might have kind of taken away from it a little bit and made his eyes look a little weird since they're kind of a little further from his face. But he's got his little overalls on, he's waving high, and he's got his little freaking, look like little dreads right here. He got his little hairs here though, the little locks. But of course, you guys know Carl, the man who taught you how to say croissant.
Are you going to finish that croissant?
But not just that, it's a long time coming. I mean, their Jimmy Neutron did have an original line of figures. We'll show some shots from the video I did covering those figures that I got into the collection. But since then, they really have got nothing. That came out with the movie release, and then we had one with the mystery minis, and now this. So Funko is the only brand that has been doing anything for Jimmy Neutron, and that's the one thing you can't say I haven't given them throughout all of this, is I always say they will do some of the characters and properties that you will not see anybody else tackle. And that's one thing I will always give Funko the most credit for. And it's cool to see Carl Weezer all these years later, now in a new figure form. Carl, I am gonna rate him a 10 out of 10. I don't know if I'm gonna give everybody a 10 here. Actually, our boy Sheen, I don't think I'm gonna give a 10, but Carl, he's getting a 10. He's so cute. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to show you guys this. If you're wondering why there's a Chia Pet over here, that's because I'm in my Chia Pet era. I recently put the seeds on this SpongeBob Chia Pet, and we're trying to see how long it's gonna take for him to have a full freaking Bob Ross, SpongeBob Ross afro of foliage. So while we're still in the Chia Pet era, I'm gonna put it right here, but I also don't want to knock it over, so I'm gonna I think I'm gonna probably put it on this side, because I feel like I'm moving my arms less on this side. There we go. So you see Chia Pet SpongeBob. Next up here, we have Sheen. I cannot lie, I knew this pop was cursed the moment I saw it, and I was like, am I really gonna get that? Then I pressed order, and it was all done, and it was a blur, and I regretted it a little bit, but what can you do? You need to complete the set. Anyway, we have Sheen here. We have Sheen Estevez, and my goodness, is he freaking terrifying, dude. He looks like the most annoying kid ever. Like, you know, we all had a friend like that who just had kind of like a long face, and they just like, there's just something kind of dingy. Like, you know, they just kind of have that, like, you know, like they just feel like their hands are sticky all the time. They have like a band-aid on like their elbow or their knee constantly. You don't even know if they scraped it or what, but there's always one there. Like, he just looks so annoying. But Sheen is kind of an annoying character. That is kind of like his trope.
Son, let me tell you a little story. Ah! Giant radioactive worms!
But let's get him really out of the box here. And he looks like a murderer. He looks so terrifying. If you saw this creeping into your window in the middle of the night, I personally would die. You wouldn't have to break in. You wouldn't have to, you know, attack me. I would just die from the visuals. So... he's really scary. He gives me like Jeff the Killer vibes or something like that. I don't know what it is. It throws me off. But other than that, he's pretty fantastic. I love his outfit there. We got the Ultra Lord shirt on there. That looks so cool. His hair with like the spikes on top of it look awesome. And he was the only character from Jimmy Neutron or Fairly Odd Parents to ever get a spinoff. Let's give him credit for that.
Please, no more weapon hoppers, please.
And also the Fairly Odder show on Netflix or wherever that doesn't count, okay? That's like, we're just gonna forget that even happened. And then there's also a New Wish. That's a reboot though, so that doesn't count as a spin-off. Sheen was the only one with the spin-off. And I would say Sheen, I'm gonna give him a solid 6.5 out of 10. He is not like, his face sculpt doesn't look all that great. But I think that they tried the best they could probably for the Funko style. He's probably the only character I probably would pick up another one of. And that would be if they actually made the Sheen with like the Ultra Lord helmet on that he has like in the movie. That would be kind of cool. Like if they made it like some kind of special GalaxyCon exclusive or something like that. I think that would go really freaking hard. Also, we have our special guest Crumb here. What do you think about a Crumb? You got a Funko Pop before any of these guys, weirdly enough. So there's also a new Jimmy, and honestly, I did forget my rule that I was not going to get multiples of the same character anymore, because they do already have the Jimmy. Some reason I ordered this new Jimmy because I just didn't think about it. So I don't have it with me. That one's actually supposed to come tomorrow. It's the only one that was missing from the box. So I will put a shot on screen of the brand new Jimmy here. Did I say on screen? I don't know. I have to go back to see if I said that. But on screen, the brand new Jimmy. And yes, I did film this video also very late at night, way later. It's actually technically the morning. You know how we do. I was gonna throw like a gang sign. I don't know any gang signs. You know how we do. K-pop gang sign. You know how we do. Alright, let's see what we got here. So now we are going to get into some complete sets here, and I cannot believe that this got a set. I am so pumped to check these out. One of my favorite shows of all time, and these characters have quite literally almost zero merch that exists. There is a couple rare items, like some plushies, t-shirts and stuff, very expensive items because they are so rare. They have some employee only stuff, but these are some of the only merch that exists, and I can only imagine that although most Funko Pops, the values kind of fluctuate on them. Some are good, some are not. I could see these ones definitely growing in time just because fans of this show are always looking for stuff, and this is one of the only things that's semi-accessible. So starting off here, we have, oh yes, the man himself. This is such a sick pop, dude. Oh man, we got Grimm from the Grimm Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I want you to cut it out.
But he started it!
Not that. My heart. I want you to cut out my heart.
That I can do!
Dude, Grimm is so freaking sick. Oh man, I gotta get this one out the box. They killed it on him though. Pun kind of intended, I guess. Let's see it here. Oh man, with the cloak and everything. Honestly, I might have to get another one of these just to display out of box, because he doesn't really look like a Funko Pop because of the fact that he already has the hollow black eye. Like, this is one of my favorite Funko Pops of all time, honestly. That is a 10 out of 10 design already. Like I said, the fact that he already has the Funko eyes, that's the kind of thing that kind of throws me off with some Funko Pops, is the fact that they have the pitch black, like soulless eyes. But since he already has past that, it just looks like a really good Grimm figure. Such a funny character. The fact that they gave him like a Jamaican accent is like so like perfect for the character. It's so strange and so random, but at the same time, like, can you imagine him without the Jamaican accent? It would just be so strange. But man, was it good living in the 2000s. Nowadays, all of the shows are about like puppies or cars or dinosaurs that are like talking. Back when we were growing up, our shows were about an alien that was coming to kill the entire human race. The Grim Reaper and a couple of kids in a cul-de-sac trying to scam everybody in the neighborhood. The 2000s, where we thought it was like progressive, but it really wasn't. We were also like kind of a wild era. But Grimm is a 10 out of 10. Love it, love it, love it. And tell me in the comments if you know every show I was referring to in that. Okay, and then the bane of Grimm's existence, one of the people that put him to the lowest points in his life. We have Billy here.
I'm invisible!
Just what do you think you're...
This is also perfect. He looks so good with the tongue sticking out there too. And also kind of the same thing with him, because Billy's eyes are so small, you can't really like say they have like a color or a lot of depth to them. So the blacked out look doesn't look that off on him. It kind of just makes him a little bit cuter, if anything. And this is fantastic. One of my favorite moments with Billy, of course, is destroy us all! Destroy us all!
Destroy us all! Destroy us all! Destroy us all! I'll take the chicken.
I'll never forget my grandmother walking into my living room at the time. She was visiting us, and that scene came on, and he was saying destroy us all for about like 2 minutes straight. My grandma came in and she said, what the f are you watching? I didn't hear my grandma curse often, so she really was annoyed by that. But I was hysterical. I was laughing so much. I really loved that trope of like characters kind of repeating the same thing over and over again. I thought it was super funny. Like Spongebob screaming after Squidward tells him about the hash-slinging slasher, and his like eyelashes come up and he's just screaming nonstop, like repetitively. Another moment that just slayed me as a kid. So Billy, I am so happy to have him too. He's also super cute here, like his little chibi body style. I'm gonna give him a 10 out of 10 too. Like I can't really, man, like I have no critiques on them, honestly. But we have one more character, and of course you know who it is. Billy's son, Jeff the Spider. No, it is Mandy.
No matter how bad it seems, it could get worse.
Mandy herself. It was just such a perfectly balanced show with these three characters with very distinct different personalities, but they blended so well together. And Mandy, her is a little bit more jarring, the all black eyes, but I think because again the dark overtones of the show and the black in her shoes, the black in her headband, the eyes don't look that off on her. It definitely does kind of look less like Mandy with those eyes, because she has that, like, with the white in her eyes, it has that clear contrast of her eyebrows that makes her look really just over everything. Whereas with the Funko one, it's kind of harder to see that expression in her. It looks almost a little bit angry rather than just disappointed or like over life kind of. So I'm gonna give the Mandy one 8.5 out of 10. It's just because of the fact it's not really the Funko's fault that's their style with these, but I also don't think it looks as good as Billy or Grimm do. All right, the next one here, I don't know what it could be. Let's go ahead and check it out. We have our first one here, and that is Ed. So yes, Ed, and Eddie here. We have the first Ed here being a single D Ed. He looks so cool as well. So let's get him out of the box here. So he's got his like baggy freaking jacket on. You know, Ed just is kind of that guy who's a little bit off, you know, he's just hard to kind of explain him very much. He's kind of got like a dumb facade, I guess you would say, but there are moments in the show where you actually see, kind of like with Patrick too, there's like these moments of like high intelligence that are kind of like, you know, secretly there.
There, little man. There's plenty to be ashamed of.
I never understood why he had yellow skin though. Because his sister doesn't have yellow skin.
That's it, Ed! I'm telling Mom!
I mean, we don't see any of the adults in the show really besides like Eddie's brother. So, I mean, we don't know what his parents look like. Maybe he's got a dad that's yellow and his mom's like Sarah's color. But that is the Ed one. The Ed one, I am going to say his chin and neck doesn't kind of blend into the shirt like it does with the actual character. Like his neck and his jaw kind of all feel like one piece. But with this, it's kind of hard because they do have the oversized head on Funkos. So I'm going to say a 9 out of 10. Like it's not spot on, like wow, they couldn't have done a better job, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10 because it definitely obviously is Ed. And then next up we have Eddie here. Oh man, freaking Amazon put this ridiculous sticker on there. Oh dude, Eddie. Okay, I'm gonna give Ed an 8.5 out of 10 because Eddie looks so freaking good. If you ask me, of course the main characters were Ed and Eddie, but who kind of seemed like the main character or like the most prominent character, I guess kind of being the leader of the group, was definitely Eddie.
I got a key. Come on in, boys.
So look at the smirk on him. He absolutely looks fantastic. They somehow pulled off the car salesman bootleg riz that Eddie seemed to have. Like he looks like such a con man and I love it. His little 3 hairs swoop to the side and the smirk on that is killer. I gotta say that's a 10 out of 10 because I was like, maybe it's just kind of hard to transition the Funko look to a character and it still look like them, but man, this one looks fantastic. And not just that, when you watch Ed and Eddie, they have a stylistic aspect to them where the grain and the lines around the characters are kind of also like constantly moving. There's a certain effect that I can't remember the exact name of, but it was a deliberate like choice from the creator of the show to kind of give them that static movement to make the show feel kind of alive even when they were kind of still. And you can almost kind of see that in his hair here. It's not like these perfect streaks that his hair have. They kind of have that little bit of like jankiness to them that the show and the outlines of the characters had. So that one is a 10 out of 10. That one is perfect. And then finally we have, I would say probably my favorite character, and that is Double D.
Telephones aren't cursed, Eddie! They're plastic! Calm down, Double D. Think ocean waves, sea mammals, arias.
Was that your dark side, Double D?
And of course, he was kind of like the meticulous, kind of clean freak, intellectual one, which made him such a good contrast with Ed being so dirty and so not smart usually. So them two were kind of like always working against each other, but at the same time they were really great friends despite those differences. And Double D and Ed kind of had their own home lives that you got to see a lot more. Him having a sister and always having different things that his parents were asking him to do, and then Double D having his parents being also as meticulous and like kind of pressuring him, and you can kind of see where the anxiety and like the angst that he has comes from. And Eddie, you don't see his home life as much because he's kind of helping keep Ed and Double D together and from going at each other's throats, but at the same time he kind of lives for the streets. He's kind of like always out there and kind of makes Ed and Double D his kind of found family, considering that his parents weren't really as present. I mean, none of the parents are present in that show, but even more so it felt like with Eddie. And then Double D, you has this little magnifying glass, which actually does have some kind of level of magnifying aspects to it, but it could just be because it's like clear vinyl. But Ed and Eddie, and of course you can't forget Ed. He had this little like beanie, which probably most of us as kids when we first saw the show thought was his hair. But yeah, you can actually see his hair is these little 3 strands back here, and there are actually shots of what Ed's hair looks like underneath his hat. There are a couple exaggerated scenes where wind blows or something happens and his hat does come up. From what I remember from the shots I used to Google online when I was like a teenager, is he kind of just has like a very thin or almost balding hair look. I would say kind of like a very, very premature balding. So he kind of wore the hat to hide that. But in the show, it was kind of like this, what is under there, like some grotesque beast was in his hat. But there we go, the boys, Ed and Eddie all together. That is something that makes me super happy. And these will be going in the cartoon variety room, and honestly I think I'm gonna have them out of the box because they just look so good together. I think I'm gonna keep Grimm out of the box as well as Ed and Eddie because they just look so good. And of course Double D I'm gonna give a 10 as well. So the Ed and Eddie got a 29. There's a total of 30 between the 3 of them. You guys let me know what was your favorite one in this video today. I would say my favorite though still is Grimm here. Grimm is still my favorite out of all the the figures that we covered today. And then I would say second would be Carl or maybe Eddie. These two look so good. But you guys let me know. And thank you so much for watching this video and seeing me dig deeper into my Funko addiction, I guess. It slowly goes and comes back and I can never escape. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here. And if you want to support the show further and help keeping this show coming for years to come, you can become a member of the YouTube channel right here on YouTube, or you can join my Patreon as well too, and you get access to videos that are not available to the public, that are only for members of those things. And if you're on Patreon, you also get extended versions of every video that I upload, early release, and they're ad free, and all at only $2 a month. As a community, that adds up so much to make everything that we do here possible and helps keeping us from falling into the shadow realm and keeping this YouTube channel going for years and years to come, hopefully. You can also go check out my Whatnot stream where I'm live every single Friday and Wednesday. You can come hang out with us. We do auctions and we also do giveaways every single show. So I'd love for you guys to come on over there. Those are free giveaways. The shipping's free and all you have to do is sign up, and you get $15 for free when you sign up in case you do want to pick anything up, but you never have to. You can just hang out and do the giveaways if you want. But before we go anywhere, you know the drill. Stand it! Alright, so that is it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button again, subscribe, Patreon, whatnot, all that information down below. I'll see you guys in this video right here that I know you're gonna love. It is the coverage I did of the Fairly Odd Parents Funko Pops, or some other awesome collecting video that I know you're gonna love. I'll see you guys in that one, and as always, I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Adios and blue.